All right, so here's the hole for the the pin for the kickstand. And looking at this hole here, you actually see it's actually elongated. Right? It's elongated, so basically it's worn. It's pretty much worn out. So along here, let's see if I can get this camera in closer. So along right here, that right there is a little sleeve. It's a steel sleeve, right? And this end right here, this is where it's worn out. So basically, it wore to the front. So that's the rear tire right there. So that direction here is the front. So it actually wore to the front. And if you look past this hole, you look past the other hole, it's also elongated, but it's not the same elongation though. It's actually, instead of going front and back, it's slightly diagonal this direction. Right? So it's in that this direction right here. From like what is that? Like 10 o'clock to like 4 o'clock or so, something like that. And this one right here is 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, right? So anyway, so this bushing is definitely worn out. You can see how it's all worn in here. So I think in here is the this part in here is the the aluminum part of the case. But I think it's worn out enough where this spot here, like right here and right here, might have been stretched out maybe a little bit. Because I still see a little bit of the steel sleeve right here. So I think this part kind of got stretched out, and it just kind of it might have broke a little bit, and it just kind of worn away. Let's look at the pin itself. So here's the pin. So this side is the throttle side, and this side is the would be a clutch side. This is a motorcycle, and you can actually see right here. This is where this where the pin is. So there's two sides. There's two ends in there, because in here it's obviously it's all hollow. So basically it's just about inch or so a space, or actually a little less than an inch, like 3/4 of an inch a space where this bushing is, and the bushing towards the back side. Right. So looking at the pin, you see where it was mounted, where the bushing is right here and right here. You actually see it's actually narrow. See how you see that? See how it's kind of narrow? At first, when I looked at this thing, I thought it was bent, but it's actually not bent. It's actually still straight. It's just the two spots right here and right here were actually worn out. They actually got thinner than the rest of them. So it kind of makes it look like it makes it look like it's bent, because some sections are more worn out than others. So it's kind of like curved. When it's worn out, it's kind of curved, so it looks like it's like bent that direction, but it's not. It's actually just more worn on this side than it is on this side, right? Like on this side right here, it's more worn than this other side is. Like right here, it's more worn on. Let's see, more worn right here than it is on right here. So anyways, so the wear on this is also elongated as well. It's not it's not circular. It's not a circular wear. It's elongated as well. Same thing with this side. So anyways, so yeah, so that's the pin. So here I have my center stand. Let's see if we get in a little bit too far there. So we have my center stand. Actually, let me release this clamp here. So here's my center stand. Obviously, it's upside down. So this is the bottom here. That's where the pin goes through. So this is where I broke during the last cannonball. I broke right here, but the reason why it broke right here is because you can see the wear. See that? See how it's like shaved? So this is from cornering, on this bike, cornering over the years. Every once in a while when I'm really in the twisty and I'm riding really aggressively, I will actually scrape the sides here. So that's what happened on this side. It basically scraped until there wasn't that much material left. Then it basically broke. So actually I had this sort of repaired a little bit, and it wasn't, the guy that did it, he didn't do a very good job, but I didn't really care because I was in the middle of a race, so I was in a rush to get it done. So it's kind of a sloppy repairs all over the place. So I'm gonna basically I'm gonna re-weld it again. I'm gonna clamp this back together, the fit right here, and I'm gonna weld it all the way around because the guy that did this, the first weld, he didn't actually weld it all the way around. Well, actually another crack right here starting to develop. So I'm gonna weld this thing all the way around. Basically I'm gonna add more metal to it, more material, and hopefully it'll hold up. The other side, this side I'm not too worried about, because this side where it is scraped, it's kind of away from the weld itself. Well, actually there's a weld right here, so I might add a little weld right here just to add material to where the weld is, so it doesn't break from this spot right here. But the rest of this, you can see, it's not touching where the weld was. Whereas this side over here, I think back down right here it was. So I think that's where it started to the initial failure was like right over here on this side. Then the crack gets spread along. So I'm gonna repair that. So I have my clamp here. I'm gonna clamp it together. I'm just gonna clamp it together, then tack it together. Then once it's tacked, then I could take the clamp off and so I want the fit to be nice and tight, so that's why I'm clamping it together. The tighter fit up, it comes together better, welds together better. So I'm gonna tack it a couple places so that way it holds. Then I can release the clamp. This clamp is, it's the head here, anyways, is plastic, and this part here, the shoe here, this is rubber, so I don't want that to melt, right? I don't want this to melt and mess up my clamp. This is kind of an expensive clamp. I've only used it, I think, once or twice. Still has the label tag on here, so I don't want to mess it up. This is definitely not one of my welding clamps. So anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I have my little welder here. My Miller Ultimatic 200. It's set up as a flux core welder right now. I believe it's a 211 NSR 211 Lincoln wire that I have in there. Can't remember what size it was. It was either 030 or 035, I forget. But anyways, so that's what I'm using. And I just sprayed this thing with brake cleaner. So a little brake cleaner here. This one should be safe. When you use brake cleaner and carb cleaner, the old school stuff, back from the 90s and before, the stuff that they use in there was I forgot what it was now. There was a certain chemistry that they use in the brake cleaner that if you get that hot enough, it will actually cause the chemical reaction with enough heat will actually create phosgene gas, and phosgene gas is extremely dangerous, very lethal. If you breathe that stuff in, that's what they used during World War I, during trench warfare. Chlorinated gas, basically, is what it is. But the newer stuff, ever since the 90s or late 90s or so, the stuff's been banned. It was first banned in California, then I think it's spread across the country now. I'm not sure if other countries that stuff is banned or not, but I just remember it was banned in California first, then it spread to the rest of the U.S. Then I'm not sure about, like I said, I don't know about other countries. But anyways, that's what I used to clean this up with. I didn't brush it or nothing. I just sprayed it, and that was it. The good thing about flux core is that it's sort of, it has a little bit of flux in it, so it sort of cleans a little bit. But I don't care about this. To me, this is junk anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. As long as it doesn't fall apart in the next 25,000 miles, I'll be more than happy. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching.